Alright, today I'm doing a video of Collinite number 915, Marque d'Elegance. I'm going to go ahead and put it through the water test and also give you guys a basic overview of the wax here. This is a paste wax from Collinite, and they have about 3 waxes that really get a lot of usage out of the auto detailing community. They're known for their durability, their great water beading, and also the price to performance ratio out of them is really high. So 915 here is Collinite's boutique wax. This is the one that has the highest concentration of carnauba wax mixed in with the formula. And so they're advertising this wax to be the one that's going to give you the most shine and depth and gloss out of the paint, while at the same time delivering on the durability that Collinite is known for. So this specific jar of Collinite will run you about $35 at any of the online detailing retail sites, and this is 12 fluid ounces inside of the jar here. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how it behaves in the water test. I went ahead and applied number 915 here on the right side of the fender and the right side of the hood facing the car here. And on the left side hood and fender I have Sonax polymer net shield. It's been about a week since I applied it onto the paint. And number 915 was applied yesterday, so it's been a full 24-hour period since this has been sitting on the paint. And the paint was prepped using Meguiar's M205 finishing polish, followed up with an isopropyl alcohol wipe down. And I do want to make a note here that prep is really important when it comes to getting the most performance out of the products that you put on top of your paint. There have been times when I've been working on cars that haven't been polished or clayed in a very long time. If you apply a wax or sealant on top of that unprepped paint surface, you're going to see a lot lower performance out of the product. I mean, one of the cars that I recently did, I was prepping the paint using the nanoskin sponge pad to really decontaminate the paint and get all the embedded contaminants out of it. When I applied Sonax Brilliant Shine Detailer to the paint that wasn't polished yet, I saw a significant decrease in the water beading and the performance of Sonax Brilliant Shine Detailer, which is really known for its great water beading. So sometimes products take more than just that claying step to really get a good surface for the products to bond to the paint. Sometimes you have to go a step beyond that and get into compounding and polishing your paint. And if you're the type of person that really wants to take your car paint care to the next level, definitely look into paint polishing and paint compounding using a dual action polisher. I think a lot of new enthusiasts are apprehensive about ruining their paint's finish using an abrasive method like a compound or a polish, but when you use these new dual action polishers that are out in the market today, they're really a safe method in preventing you from damaging your paint while getting rid of the swirls and really bringing out the shine and the gloss in your paint. And as far as dual action polishers go, there's really a whole bunch of different ones here in the US that are on the market that are really safe to use. There's the Porter Cable 7424 XP. There's the Griot's Garage 6-inch dual action polisher. Harbor Freight has one that's known to be great value for the price. You've got Meguiar's and Chemical Guys both have their dual action polishers that they sell. So when you combine these tools with the right polishes and pads, they've really made paint compounding and paint polishing super easy to do using these safer tools. So as you can see from the water test here, I mean, Collinite really is an aggressive water beater. It definitely holds up well. You can see it's close to the level of Sonax Polymer Net Shield, which is really one of the strongest water beating products. So I'll go ahead and get the Meguiar soap out. We're going to see how well Collinite 915 holds up after using soap. And I'll talk about the application process and more about the characteristics of the wax. Alright, so I've washed the paint down using the Meguiar's Deep Crystal Car Wash Soap. And I'll go ahead and talk about the application of Collinite 915. This is definitely a wax that you want to put on super thin on the paint. And that's going to be the difference between Collinite waxes and many of the other waxes out there, is you really have to pay attention to your application process when you're working with Collinite waxes. If you put it on too thick, or you let them sit on the paint for too long, or maybe you don't let it sit on the paint for long enough, then the removal of the waxes is going to be a bit more difficult compared to other ones. And so that's definitely true for 915 here. If I go ahead and apply a real thin coat, and if I let it sit for about 10 minutes and go ahead and buff it off, I find it's really easy to work with. But if I do more of a medium coat of wax on the surface here and really try and buff it off, you can see if you're using a light source while you're removing the wax, you can see that it's going to leave behind that more of that residual oils like we talked about when I was working with the Carb Pro Reload product. If you let these residual oils sit on the paint and cure, you're going to end up with some lighter holograms as you pull it out into the sun in the next couple of days. You'll be able to see them shift in the light. Now with Carb Pro Reload, that very slight amount of residuals left behind was very easy to remove during the next wash. But with Collinite 915 here, I noticed that even after the next wash, I could notice some very slight hologramming in the paint. So that's how this wax is behaving for me. You know, I'm applying these out of the sun in the garage, but we're still seeing temperatures around the mid 80s when I'm applying it to the paint. We've got higher humidity as well, and this can all affect how the wax is drying while it's sitting on the paint before you buff it off. And so in your environment, you might find that it's a little bit easier to work with if you let it sit longer than 10 minutes before you buff it off from the paint, or maybe it takes less than 10 minutes. But I find that if you put it on super thin and you give it that very nice clean wipe down after you remove it from the paint, you're going to have no trouble working with this product. It's not the easiest wax to apply and remove. You definitely have to take more care. But the end result is a very durable wax that's going to last you a long time, and it's going to give you great shine and gloss at the same time. And so if you're looking at waxes like Pinnacle Sovereign or Wolfgang Fusion, you know, those waxes are going to be a lot more user-friendly and more forgiving if you do happen to put them on too thick. But if durability is your main focus and you're really looking for something that's packed with carnauba content, definitely take a look at Collinite 915 here. And the wax has a very smooth texture in the jar. It's very smooth when you're running your finger across the top of it. Some waxes are a bit more grainy. This is very smooth. It's got a nice smell to it. I don't think they scented it to smell like anything in particular, but it's not bad at all. And they do not recommend this wax for use on trim. That's directly from Collinite themselves. The wax goes on clear, but they do not recommend it for trim in their instructions. And I have Collinite 845 here. This is their insulator wax that is very popular. I might have to scrap this test. The seal was broken inside and a little bit of product seeped outside of it when I received it during shipping. And I've been seeing very inconsistent results. So I might have to get a new bottle and test that out. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the review. I'll see you in the next video.